Back to our Lions walk. We need more Wes Harding appreciation after his performance, says Chris. That's exactly what we're going to do here. Following that Leeds results, we're going to give Wes Harding and all the other players that deserve the appreciation their plaudits. Plus, we're asking Callum and Charlie, who are back with us, to review the transfer window. How would they grade it? And, oh shit, it says Swansea on there. Bollocks. Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Where Lions Walk, 20 minutes of Millwall review. Chris says we need more Wes Harding appreciation after his performance. That's exactly what we're going to do on the channel this week. We've got Charlie and Callum back with us. Plus, we're also going to look back at the transfer window and give it a grading. And we're choosing our worst ever Millwall manager because we've come to the end of putting our worst ever Millwall side together. There it is. We need a goalkeeper and a manager. So we'll do that at the end of the video. Plus, with it being Valentine's Day, we're going to ask for your stories of how you fell in love with Millwall. But let's get straight into it. Hey, you could play Leeds every week, Callum. You'd be all right, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was a great win. Probably could say that Leeds put out a second team, but they still could. Obviously, they still could have beaten us on the day. We were brilliant. I thought we were very good. Nice to see some new faces as well, with Negley starting and obviously Wes Harding coming into right back. And like Kundal. So it's really nice to see these new players coming into the starting 11. It was a great win. Femi Aziz coming back in after injury, scored a brace. Connor Roberts as well, I thought was immense. With that penalty save as well. So, yeah, all positives, Mark, all positives.
No, we can't. There's not even one negative good find on social media this week. Let's start with the old guard, shall we? Oh, not that one. I want this one first. Tony says, for someone who's been frozen out, Wes Harding has been absolutely effing fantastic today. And Ronnie says, Wes Harding at right back is prime Cafu, Charlie. I'm pleased for Wes because he hasn't really had much of a look in, has he? But some performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, his performance is what you could say is a true professional we came across on Saturday. I think we haven't seen him play a competitive game for probably nearly coming up to a year now. Like, it's been a long time since he's put on that Mill shirt. So I was really pleased with seeing him get the chance to play because he does deserve that. Because I don't think he did much wrong to go out of the team in the first place. I think he just got a bit unlucky with Tanganga being so good and Leonard being so good last season. So, he got his chance on Saturday, and I think he's given Alex Neil a little thing to think about. Kramer's been really good since he come in, but obviously Wes Harding's shown he can also offer that quality at right back. And seeing as we're still in the cup, he's probably going to get another chance in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Another little headache that the manager's been given is in goal, isn't it? As well, because, I mean, crikey. You got two excellent keepers, says Vinny. Now talk about throwing your hat into the ring. Callum, for you, would he start against Plymouth on Wednesday night?
Well, we said this a couple of weeks ago, and I think Charlie mentioned about Roberts getting a start against QPR after the Portsmouth game because he played the Portsmouth game away. What was that?
It was Pompey, wasn't it? He played, yeah.
Yeah, he played the Pompey game, yeah, and obviously we had the game after against QPR, and I think he should have started personally because I thought he was brilliant. I think that Jensen has done well, but I still have my issues with him at some sort of points within games. It doesn't really look, confident in himself. He comes out for balls at times when you feel a little bit like on edge with him. That's for me watching him. But, with Roberts, I think he's completely different. I think I prefer him. He's more confident. He's more controlled. He comes out for crosses. He grabs them. And I just think he looks the much better goalkeeper. But, I mean, Jensen is our number one. But for me, for me watching personally, I think Roberts is probably better.
Okay. It's an interesting shout. Another player we must give some mentions to is this guy, Balloon Denor. The admin's been on fire this week, I've got to say. My man of the match, says Simon. He's truly loving the new manager and his attacking approach. Yeah, are we seeing the best of Casper, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned it last week. I think Denora is such a quality player, and we are quite lucky to have him. I think he's really, as people are saying, he's really come into shine under Alex Neil. He's getting a lot more time on the ball and off the ball. He's proven himself a lot more. I think the bit that epitomised it on Saturday was that challenge that was on him. I think most players would come off after being stomped on like that by the big, massive bloke that trod on his ankle. So I think the fact he got up and he continued to play really well, got an assist. Another brilliant performance for him, and long may it continue.
Yeah, absolutely. That's twice now you've beaten Leeds, obviously. I do worry about the number of bookmarks that these next tweets kind of took, because you've got admin put marching on to the next round of the Cup, and then this got a lot of Leeds fans back up. DJ Femi played Joy Division with lots of Leeds fans saying, just wait for in 3 weeks' time when we put our real team out there. Callum, does that worry you a little bit? Perhaps you've poked a beast here.
Nah, I don't feel not threatened at all. They could say whatever they like. No, do you know what? I just think that from a Leeds perspective, if they wanted to win, I think they're more focused on promotion in the league. I think that's what I gathered from Daniel Farke's press conference before the game. And, the team that he's obviously put out as well, he's changed 10 players from his starting lineup. So that kind of tells you that they're focusing on the league for me. So, but no, I mean, take nothing away from our performance. We were just brilliant on the day. But yeah, the admin was on fire for the whole weekend. The Leeds fans on Twitter were not very happy indeed, which we love to hear.
We'll come back and talk about tragedy chanting in a second, but let's focus on the positives for a minute. Crystal Palace away then, Charlie. That draw couldn't have landed any better for you. Well, they're winning at the moment at the time of recording this, so we presume that unless a Doncaster comeback happens, that you'll be playing Palace away. Is that the perfect draw?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only one better probably would have been Man United away. So, as long as Palace keep the result how it is, that'll be a very good day out.
Yeah,
hopefully
Callum?
it's the kick-off time as well.
Yes. Callum, good result, good draw?
I agree. I think it's, at the moment I'm just currently watching it, and they're just gone 2-0 up. So it's looking like Palace are going to be our next opponents in the next round, which I love. I love it. I think it's a brilliant draw. I would have loved to have had, United at home, one of the big hitters at home. But you know what? Palace away, South East London derby. You can't go wrong with it. It's just absolutely fitting.
Remind me, is Eze cup tied?
No, he's on their bench tonight.
Oh, is it? Oh my God! So he could knock you out. He could knock you out the FA Cup.
Yeah, he could.
Okay.
Yes.
It's gonna.
Thanks for that, Mark. By the way.
Sorry.
Or he could get kicked up in the air in the first 10 minutes. So.
Oh, he could get. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Right. Just take a second. We talk about all kind of news on here, footballing and not. So Leeds United, obviously, I've asked Millwall to investigate some tragedy chanting which took place during the game, and Millwall put out this statement which strongly condemned all kinds of tragedy abuse during the game. Now I know neither of you were there, so you can't comment in terms of what actually happened. But what's your view on this, Charlie? There's always two sides to every story, but obviously this has no place in football, does it?
I mean, I think unfortunately it probably won't. It's not the first time this stuff, and it won't be the last. So I think, and it's not just Millwall fans at the end of the day. I think we both know, we all know it's two-sided, this sort of stuff. So I mean, I think the less focused on it, the better. Really, I think the main thing should be focused on the performance Millwall put out on Saturday. But unfortunately, as I said, it won't be the last time something like this happens. So I think it's better we just get on with it and acknowledge that there is stuff that happens in the game, and I think as time goes on, we will see less of it. But at the end of the day, it's Millwall and Leeds. I don't think that we were ever going to be singing love songs to each other. So
I don't think so, no, either. No, and lots of Millwall fans said, "Hold on a second, what about when they came to the Den and started singing songs about people being in boxes and so on?" Callum, what's your view on it?
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. I mean, it's not condoned. But we all know that, when fans are at games, the emotion sometimes gets on top of people. And there are some people out there that do stupid things, and this is just probably one of them where, you know, whether it's Leeds fans or Millwall fans at the game on Saturday, it just went over the mark really. So yeah, it's not condoned at any football game, but yeah, I think it's like Charlie said, it's one of them where it happens everywhere, and you just got to move on and just try and get it sorted as quickly as possible.
Okay, good shouting all round. The transfer window is now closed. Then Charlie, give it a quick review on how you did overall.
To be honest, I think that's probably the best window that I've ever seen as a Millwall fan. I don't think we've had many better in terms of getting players in, and to some regards getting players out. I mean, we've got our record fee going out, record fee coming in, and so far I haven't really seen a bad signing. I mean, apart from maybe AJ Matthews, unfortunately, went off injured in the under-21s game, which is a bit Millwall of us. But we're still to see a few of them play, but I quite like the business that we've done this window.
Yeah. Callum, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you just look at that transfers in. I mean, 8 signings. It's unheard of in January. I think the club have been very, very strategic in their recruitment, and we've got to give a massive shout out to Steve Gallen and the recruitment team. You know, I've said on here before, so I need to apologise really, because I did say a bad thing about Steve Gallen on another episode, but I think I think Steve Gallen deserves a lot of credit, because, you know, you look at the ages of them players, and, you know, Connolly's the oldest, being 25, so you can see sort of the strategy that we're going for now, getting in younger players, which is very good. So yeah, I'd say it's the best transfer window we've had in a very, very long time.
Okay. Great shouts. If you've been watching over the last 3 weeks, then Callum and Charlie have been putting together their worst ever Millwall 11 just to get us through January, to be honest with you. Here's what they did. They put, I mean, to be honest with you, this is a team that stinks of relegation. I'd imagine if it ever got to play together. We're missing 2 positions, so we're missing a goalkeeper and we're missing a manager as well. So can you help us in the comments here? Who's the worst ever goalkeeper that Millwall have had on their books, and who should be the manager? Charlie, can you help us with either position?
I think goalkeeper. Recently, I think we'd all say George Long. I think if anyone shoots from outside the box, it goes through his hands. So it was awful, and he cost us that playoff space really on that last day against Blackburn. Apart from that, I'd maybe go David Martin, just because of the again, ball fell through his hands against Brighton in the last minute of the cup to send us to Wembley, and then a couple of months later he joined West Ham and cried after making his debut, which was it wasn't very nice. Then for manager, I think every Millwall fan would say, I think Steve Lomas, again, another West Ham. So yeah, less said about him, the better.
Okay. Callum, do you agree?
Yeah, goalkeeper would probably agree. Probably David Martin, because he'd moved to West Ham, and obviously the Brighton incident as well. That was a great shout. What was the other one, Charlie, again?
George Long.
Yeah, I'd probably say George Long tops it. I mean, when David Martin played for us, he was not bad. I didn't think he was that bad actually, goalkeeping wise. But
really, right?
Yeah, but I think George Long's got to go in that goalkeeper position, Mark. And the manager, Steve Lomas, is a great shout. But I mean, I've got a couple that I could put in there, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd put Joe Edwards in there. I would put Ian Holloway in there as well. I think that Ian Holloway was a nightmare, and that ended so badly, and the fans actually hate him. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, that manager. It could be about 4 people.
Let us know in the comments the worst ever Millwall manager. I can't put George Long as your goalkeeper, because Norwich City have already got George Long as there. And and Hull City have also got Jones Long as
No
their
way.
worst goalkeeper. He can't
What
be
a
in
big-
3 lists for the worst goalkeeper. But hey,
Wow.
there we go. Poor Jones Long.
It doesn't surprise me though, to be honest.
Yeah, well, Norwich fans
Yeah, no.
absolutely can't stand him.
He
But,
was in,
and he's currently there at Norwich still as well.
Yeah, he was in the team that got promoted at Hull as well. That says a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
True.
Finally, then the week is Valentine's Day, of course, on Friday. And as Callum and Charlie will be busy writing their cards. Before we get them to do that, we want them to come and talk about their first love and their only love, I'm sure, of Millwall FC. So, Charlie, regale us quickly, please, of how you fell in love with them, how old were you, who's responsible, and what was your first ever game, if you can recall it?
I was thinking back. I think my first ever game was against Nottingham Forest. I think it was a 0-0 draw. I went with my dad and we sat in the cold blow lane and sat next to an old bloke who didn't stop swearing for the 90 minutes. So I learnt a few new words that day. And yeah, I think that sort of era was when I fell in love with Millwall. Kenny Jackett side players, Steve Morrison, Neil Harris later on, Danny Shitu, Tony Craig, Liam Trotter. I remember that FA Cup run under Kenny Jackett when we got to Wembley. I remember Liam Trotter scoring against Aston Villa and that day out at Wembley against Wigan. And yeah, I'd say that's sort of the generation when I fell in love with Millwall.
Okay. Callum?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 22. Been going since I was 5, so 17 years. The first game I can recall was my dad taking me with a few of his friends, and we were sitting up in a Dockers stand, and it was a sold-out game. And I was so small that I had to stand on a seat, and because we was right at the back, and I couldn't see properly, so my dad had to hold me on the seat, and also because I couldn't see. And that was when we won 4-0 at home to Charlton. So that was a good game. And I just remembered the playoff games, back in 2009, going to, I remember the Scunthorpe game where we got beat 3-2 with Martin Wolford scoring that winner. And yeah, I remember the Huddersfield games as well when we got to the final against Swindon as well at Wembley. So yeah, they were the sort of times. And, my favourite players would probably be Steve Morrison, Neil Harris. Growing up as a striker, I absolutely loved to watch them. One of my favourite players to ever watch.
Thanks for sharing that. Both of you share your love as well by putting your stories in the comments. And also, if you can get us to 50 likes this week, that would be absolutely fantastic as well. Share your love for the work that we're doing. Right, enjoy the trip to Plymouth midweek, won't you? And enjoy the game against West Brom this Saturday as well. We'll review all of that when we come back in 7 days' time. Thanks, Callum. Thanks, Charlie. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great